Welcome. My name is Kelly.
And I'm Emma.
And this is Fanimated, an animation fan podcast. That's what this is.
What is this again?
Oh, where we get a chance to geek out about our favorite animated media. I hesitate there because I've been saying now this is Fanimated, an animation fan channel on our YouTube.
Oh.
So that was my hesitation there. I was like, wait, I'm doing the podcast now, not
switching modes.
YouTube channel. But definitely check us out on YouTube. I basically just ramble about Fruits Basket every week. So
I love it. I adore it.
It's a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with that, by the by, just because I need that outlet of like Fruits Basket energy. So I need to get all my thoughts out there. Speaking of, this is What You Watching, where we're gonna just talk about what we've been watching recently, and this is the spring 2021 anime extravaganza.
Yes.
Basically, where there's a lot of great shows out right now that are airing currently, and we need to talk about them because there are so many good ones, including Fruits Basket. So Emma, how's Fruits Basket been for you?
Oh my lord. What a question. Guys, I'm hanging in there day by day. Little overwhelmed every time, but I love it.
Yes.
Okay, like every episode that is released, I'm just like I'm an emotional wreck. Like there's so much happening, so much character development, so much like cord breakingness, and I'm like, this is it. Like, look at all of our children just growing up and fighting for who they are and becoming their true selves and fighting for love. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like
yes.
My heart is just wrenched all the time. I love it.
I love it. I love it too. And I said this on the YouTube channel, but like truly it's amazing how hard and fast they're going right away. Like there is no slowing down. Like I feel like halfway through season 2, it's just like there hasn't been any like filler episodes.
No.
I mean, I guess you could maybe argue the Yuki fan club president, that was a little bit of a filler, like 5 minutes of the episode, but then the whole rest of the episode was still pretty intense. So it's just like, man, right. they're
well,
just
and those technically are characters that have been there the whole time, and it's kind of neat to see those characters get closure because at the beginning you really don't care for them as much because you're like, oh, they're so annoying. But when you really hear their perspective and how Yuki makes them feel, I'm like, wow, you're like, this is actually really beautiful, and like I'm happy that you're receiving closure in your life. Like, what?
Yeah, that's true. And let's be real, I am also a Yuki fan club member, so
yeah, you are, girl.
So I relate. Well, what else have you been watching recently?
I have been catching up on My Hero Academia.
Yes.
And I'm just a couple episodes behind, but it feels really fun to get back into it because it's just fun,
It's always a fun one. It's just it's just lighthearted and happy, and just watching my superhero children do superhero things, and it's great.
Oh, Deku is great, but Bakugo is my favorite.
And Todoroki fan over here. There we go.
Oh my gosh, that scene with his family was great. Yes. So yeah, I've been catching up on that show, and then also obviously Fruits Basket. I also started rewatching Dragon Prince for like the 6th time, I think now.
Yes.
I really love that show, and now it's been harder to get back into, mainly because like, I think I needed a break, but I'm watching it because we're going to hopefully do some recording about it in the future.
Yeah, sneak peek.
Wait and see. So Yeah, I've been rewatching that, but you know what? I actually have to tell myself, okay, Emma, you can't take notes on every little detail, because currently that is what I'm doing, because I'm like, oh, I love this part. Oh, I love this little bit. Oh, I love this little bit. I'm like, wait. We can't talk about all these things, otherwise it's going to be a 5-hour episode. And
Yeah.
as much as we love the detail, like, you know, you got to stop somewhere. So I'm just trying to rein it in. It's fine. It's great.
That's great. That is, I expect nothing less from you and your love of the Dragon Prince. So I cannot wait to record that episode sometime this summer.
It will be a fun time, surely. Otherwise, besides those main shows, I did introduce another person to Your Name, so that's always a great hit.
Nice.
And then lastly, I have been watching Vinland Saga, which has been pretty epic.
Finally, Emma. Finally. Guys, if you listen to this podcast like frequently, you'll know that, or maybe you don't know, but I love Vinland Saga. My friends at least know it because I recommend it to them all the freaking time. Vinland Saga is, you know what? Why don't I let you take the floor? You're the one who's been watching it. What is Vinland Saga about?
Man, okay, so it's about Vikings. That's the big overarching umbrella.
Woo-woo!
And it's kind of interesting because it's like, you know, Japanese voice actors, but telling a Viking story. So It's like, wait, what? But yeah, it's about this kid named Thorfinn, and he has a dad who is a well-known Viking and is a very strong man in his community. How many spoilers am I allowed to give, Kelly?
I feel like, here's the thing. It starts off pretty slow, and so the actual, like, you know, trigger for the plot to happen doesn't happen till, like, episode 4 or 5. Like, it takes a few episodes for the inciting incident. That's the word I'm looking for.
So a trigger happens along the storyline, and our main character, Thorfinn, as a result of that happenstance, he is taken aboard this pirate ship, and I'm only in episode, we just finished episode 6 today, so very lightly into it, but this child has been wrecked by the blood on the battlefield that he has seen, and he is just warped by tragedy, and oh my gosh, it's so intriguing just like seeing this kid grow up and see how his thoughts and actions have changed because of his surroundings. And I'm just really intrigued to see what happens, especially like for who he's traveling with is the most shocking factor for me so far.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm enjoying it. Lots of good action scenes. I love the opening song. It's great.
Vinland Saga is a true masterpiece. It's like, it's pretty historically accurate, but it's taking these both like real historical events and people and merging it with like Viking lore and the like, and then it's an anime too, right? So it's like that got the grandiose like feeling of an anime. But it's so different from anything else I've watched because it's like a historical war drama, which I just personally, I don't see a lot of, and I don't engage with a lot of that type of anime, especially when it's like a Western story in a Japanese anime. And it's really fascinating. And the characters are so well written, man. Also, it's produced by Studio Wit. So, you know, Attack on Titan, Seraph of the End, Great Pretender, all of those shows done by Studio Wit. So, you know, it's gorgeous. Warning though, obviously, war drama. It is very violent. They do not shy away from the gruesome atrocities of Vikings and pirates. So,
nope.
There you go. There's your little warning on that. And it's only available on Amazon Prime, unfortunately. So that's where you go to check it out. But definitely do, and let me know if you watch it, because it's my fave, and I need other people to talk about it with. So I'm so glad you're watching it. Oh my gosh.
Me too. It is very beautiful. You do have to kind of be in a certain mood for it because it's deep and it's dark and gory, but if you're there and ready for the adventure, it's pretty great. So, Kelly, that's what I've been watching.
All right. I've been watching, guys, I've gone deep this season, like so deep into the new shows coming out. Obviously, besides Fruits Basket and My Hero Academia, I've tried out so many of the new anime this season, and I'm not following all of them because some of them I couldn't even get through the first episode of. But so far, I'm watching 8 other anime weekly.
I can't wait to be in that spot again.
This could be like an hour-long episode of Whatcha watching. But instead, what I've done is I've put all 8 of these shows into a random list generator. And we're going to pick maybe the top 3 or so and talk about them here on the main podcast. And then I'm going to talk to Emma about the rest of them in the bonus episode, which you'll be able to find right now on patreon.com/fanimated. For just $1 a month, you can support the show, keep us on air, vote for upcoming episode topics, and hear the whole backlog of bonus episodes. So highly recommend, and it's super fun. So again, that's patreon.com/fanimated. But without further ado, let me randomize this list and we'll see what I talk about. Yes. Number 1, Backflip.
Oh my. Is this a gymnast anime?
This is a new sports anime. A whole bunch of idiots who are passionate about gymnastics.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Had no idea.
Of course, you've got the passionate newbie gymnast who just happens to be proficient in this skill because of his various other, hobbies. And then you've got the shy and silent prodigy, and they become best friends. And am I describing Haikyuu? Yes, I am, because it's basically the plot of Haikyuu.
Describing maybe Reki and Langa as well, maybe? I don't know.
It's the basic general formula for every sports anime there is. But you know what? It works, man.
I mean, I'm tied in every time, so they got me.
I mean, I love this show. It's just pure joy for me. I'm not saying it's better than Skate the Infinity or Haikyuu or Yuri on Ice or any of my other favorite sports anime, but it's definitely just like filling that sports anime shaped hole in my heart right now, especially after Skate the Infinity last season. Like, I needed some dumb sports boys in my heart, and here they are. I will warn you, especially the first episode, they use a lot of CG for the gymnast routines. Just because it's easier to animate, it's less production time, it costs less. And I have no problem with it from a production standpoint, a business standpoint. As a viewer, though, it is a little hard to watch. So I'm just going to throw that out there. So it might not be everyone's jam, but you know what? I can look past it because I love them. So that's a Backflip. And that's Backflip with 2 exclamation points. Thank you.
Dang.
Number 2, and I'm so excited this one popped up at the top as well, because Mars Red is a beautiful, stunning anime. And this is going to sound really odd, but it's about vampires. And you might think that sounds a little, I feel like a lot of vampire anime, or the ones I've seen, feel a little cheesy. But this one is not. It's like beautifully crafted. And what's really fascinating about Mars Red is it's not based off of a manga or a light novel. It's based off of a play. It's based off of a stage play.
Interesting. That's awesome.
And this man wrote this stage play and has now decided to adapt it for anime, of all things. And I find that absolutely fascinating. And you, Emma, being my theater buddy, would absolutely love it.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, it uses a lot of like stage visual language, which it sounds odd, but it is using light in a very theatrical way. It's just using a lot of cues that you'd see in a stage production, but it's through this anime. So from that perspective, it really is just beautiful animation, just gorgeous visuals. It's such a unique style, and I love that so much. The story is great. Like, it's still kind of like getting into it, I feel. For me, I'm not like fully caught up. So even if the story, I mean, like, the story is great, don't get me wrong. I want to talk more about the visuals than anything else, is because it's so beautiful and it's so aesthetically pleasing. So I definitely recommend Mars Red. It's so different from anything else I've seen. It is definitely a little out there, a little strange. Like, it's not your mainstream anime that everyone's like watching. It's very, very different, but I love it. I think it's fascinating.
Sweet.
All right, number 3. Listen. Everyone loves a good isekai.
Yes.
And The Saint's Power is Omnipotent is my isekai of the season, everybody. In a genre filled with male power fantasies, this is for all the women out there who just want a handsome knight. Guys, the plot is non-existent.
What?
The world building is empty, but you know what? Oh. It's got a whole bunch of cute boys. The tables have turned, everybody.
Oh my goodness, Kelly. At least you're honest.
I'm just being real. It's fluffy. It's lighthearted. It's just makes me happy, and that's what it does. The Saint's Power is omnipotent. Wow, can I say that word? The Saint's Power is Omnipotent is about a girl named Sei, and she gets summoned into this magical world because they are in need of the saint who has this holy power to rid the land of evil. Except that they summon 2 girls, and the other girl gets like swept away by the prince and is like learning to become the saint, and Sei gets left behind.
Sad.
So she gets to do whatever she wants, and so
yes, girl, you do whatever you want.
You do it, girl. Yes, and so she like becomes it almost feels a little Snow White-ish when I say this, but like an herbalist slash like potion maker. And then of course she learns she has lots of magical powers too, and it's basically like, you know, just like what an isekai usually is. The main character has OP power and like, you know, just doesn't have to try very hard for anything. So, except it's a girl this time. Great.
Oh yeah, we love those people. Very unfair.
And she's a very cute romantic relationship with a knight, and it's cute.
Oh, that sounds so cute.
So if you need a fluffy romance.
What? Fluffy romance? When would I need that?
What?
Just every day.
You and Shoujo? Huh?
What?
Anyway, I love it. So I unabashedly love it. So there you go. Check it out if that's your jam.
Nice.
Do we have time for one more? Oh, yeah, we have to, because number 4 is one I definitely want to recommend to you specifically.
Oh, please hit me with it.
It's called Those Snow White Notes. And this is about a young man who is very proficient at I'm going to say this wrong. I should look it up. The shamisen.
Oh.
And that's like the guitar looking thing with 3 strings, and they use this little pick. And he learned this instrument from his grandfather, who was his inspiration. And at the beginning of the series, his grandfather has passed away. And so he leaves, goes to Tokyo, and he's just trying to find his sound. And trying to like become his own musician, not just like following in his grandfather's footsteps. And I say this to you specifically because part of it feels a little, what's the other music?
Sounds of Life.
Sounds of Life. Yes.
Yeah,
I love that. It feels a little so like that. Except different, still very different. Those Snow White notes I think is, it focuses more on the individual than the entire group. But there is like the club that he's part of and all of that. But it's just beautiful. It's just like, it makes me so happy. And it just like, it just like encapsulates all these thoughts about like art in general and how like you're trying to find your own voice, your own style.
Yeah.
And also like, what are you doing this for? Like, who are you performing for, or what are you performing for? And so his journey is just fascinating. I love the pace. It's like just slow and steady, and like it almost feels a little March Comes In Like a Lion too. Like that's the tone of it. The tone feels like March Comes In Like a Lion. And it's gorgeous. And the music is fantastic.
Oh, I want to watch it. Oh my goodness. That sounds like something that I would love.
Emma, you'd love it. You'd love it. That one's on Crunchyroll, so definitely check that out. Man, I just watched the most recent episode today, and I was like, man, every single episode is a win. Seriously. It's so good.
Which, kind of speaking of which, did you ever watch more of Sounds of Life?
No.
Because, girl, you need to finish that anime. It is beautiful, okay?
Okay.
It's worth it. It is worth it.
Okay. I know.
If you have time for 8 anime, you can squeeze it in.
Yeah, I watch enough anime. I should be able to make it into my schedule, my anime schedule. With the like
it's
10
just like,
anime I'm watching right now. More than that.
It is an interesting pace show, but like the ending is just so worth it to me. Like, especially their final number, it is just gorgeous, and it is worth the watch. Like, you could listen to it on YouTube, but the magic of the moment is in the scene itself. So I just highly recommend it to you.
Girl, I will get there. I will, just like I'll get through Fairy Tail eventually someday.
Yes, you will. I believe in you.
I will.
I always use the example of how if I have watched through Fairy Tail twice, which people out there in the world, it is literally like almost 400 episodes long. And I've watched it twice, y'all.
I cannot even.
You can do it.
But I don't blame you, because like
insane.
I've watched other, like, I don't know. What's the anime that I've watched the most on repeat? Well, Full Metal, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I've watched Brotherhood several times.
You know, I remember thinking that Brotherhood was a lot longer of a series because of like how we went through it the first time together.
Yeah.
But then when I rewatched it for our episode, I was like, wow, this is so fast. Like, and maybe that's because I have watched longer animes like Fairy Tail now. I'm like, this is nothing.
Yes, it's true though. You look at like 60 episodes versus 400. You're like, easy peasy. Can knock that out in a weekend.
Yeah, or like, you know, finished Inuyasha, the original series, like, you know, same kind of vibe. Like, yep.
The true test of anime watching is trying to get through One Piece.
Oh my gosh, I haven't even attempted, and I don't know that I will. I'd love to watch an episode just to get well, I kind of already have the vibe of the show, but like just to hear it all for once. But man, I committed to Fairy Tail and I saw it to the end, but I don't know how many more long anime I can do that for.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
a lot of time.
It scares me to start One Piece. People who watch One Piece scare me.
Or like Bleach.
Bleach
as well.
How long is Bleach?
I thought that was a longer one. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one.
Oh my gosh. One Piece currently has 973 episodes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm not starting anytime soon.
Stop. I can't.
What about Naruto? How many episodes are in the Naruto universe?
I'm going to look that up too. I'm looking at Bleach. Guys, how is this possible? Oh gosh. Okay, yeah. Bleach has 366 episodes,
Yep,
everybody.
told you.
So that's like watching Fairy Tail. Naruto has 220, so not
Really?
quite as much, but that is still
Man,
a
that
lot.
kind of surprises me.
I don't know if this is counting. You know what? This probably isn't counting.
Because maybe that's just the original Naruto series.
Yeah, because there's Naruto Shippuden. And let me look at that one. Oh my what? What is happening?
Oh no. Kelly, hold it together.
500.
What's happening?
Episodes of Naruto Shippuden. What?
Are you kidding me? I mean, I guess it's not as bad as 900, but...
So to watch all of Naruto, like all of them, that's like 700 plus episodes. Gosh, what is happening? Here's the thing. Since we're going down this rabbit hole, like, this is the difference between seasonal anime and weekly anime. Because all of these that we're talking about, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, it's been like they produce a new episode like every single week for years and years and years and years. Right. And so it's just episode after episode after episode. They don't, now we're in a time where more and more anime are being produced by season instead of just, continuously, which I think is better in so many ways. Not least of which because you don't have to sit down and watch 300 episodes to get caught up.
Right.
But because they can focus on the story of the manga, they don't have to make random filler episodes so that the manga can get ahead of it, And like you can make a more cohesive story when you sit down and like think about the season as a whole rather than just trying to get the next episode out there. But that just goes to show, like, all of those numbers goes to show, like, that's how it's been, especially for shonen anime for so long. Like, that's the history of shonen anime is, like, incredibly long weekly series. So, man, that's bonkers. Woo.
You know what, though? It makes me really excited. I'm teaching middle school right now, and a lot of my middle schoolers wear Naruto shirts and just other anime shirts, and it just makes me so proud and so happy. I'm like, yeah. Maybe you just think that shirt is cool, but if you watch it, you're also cool.
That just proves that anime is becoming more mainstream, and the more mainstream it is, the more anime we get, so I'm not complaining.
Kelly, on my PowerPoint every day I do today's funny, and it'll be a meme of some sort. Mm-hmm. Well, I did one with Demon Slayer, and it's a Demon Slayer photo, and it's just like, I don't remember the exact wording, but it was just like, when students are quarantined from school, and like the caption was like, 20 of us started out, now only 4 are left. And they knew what it was. They're like, oh, it's Demon Slayer. And I was like, oh, you all know what this is? They're like, we can't watch it, but and I was like, oh yeah, that's probably good.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be letting middle schoolers watch it, but I mean, hey.
Yeah. I just thought that was great that they recognized it. I was like, yes.
I got a whole bunch of little nerds in your class. Love it.
I do.
That is so great. That is so great. You'll be the cool anime teacher.
I will be. I'm proud of it.
As you should be. As you should be. So that's it for today. Again, I'm going to talk about these other 4 anime I've been watching over on patreon.com/fanimated. There's just so many great ones, like To Your Eternity, Super Cub, and 86. So if you're watching those and want to hear me ramble about them for a little bit, I'll be doing that over at Patreon. Thank you so much for listening. The music that you're hearing is provided by Purple Planet Music. You can reach me at fanimatedpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram and Facebook at fanimatedpodcast. And thank you, Emma, so much for joining me today. This is always so much fun.
Oh, always a pleasure to geek out with you, dear.
Oh, of course. And we'll kind of get back to our rewatching of The Dragon Prince so we can record an episode on it for you guys. Oh, speaking of Patreon, they voted on favorite Disney princesses. And so we'll be discussing the winner of that poll next week. So, in the meantime, as always, stay tuned.
And stay animated.
I am testing. This is Kelly. I am talking about anime because that's what I do on every Whatcha Watchin'.